In the Box is powered by Algo Group International, Giraffe Coffee, Tangem Crypto Wallet, ILM International Education Group, Ariana Travel Club, Wise Money Transfer, Aroom.
Welcome to In the Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of our podcast, In the Box. I am Algo Joe, your host for today. In the last episode, we were in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where we sat down with the ambassador of the Kyrgyz Republic, His Excellency Anwar Anarbayev. And now we are back in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. As you can see, this is our studio in Bishkek, all right? And today we have a very important guest. He is the independent member of the board of directors of O Bank, one of the most prominent banks in Kyrgyzstan. More importantly, he is the executive director of the International Business Council, IBC, which is the largest business association in Kyrgyzstan. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Askar Sydykov. Welcome to the show, Ascar.
Thank you, Algo Joe.
Yep.
Pleasure to be here.
Yep. How are you today?
Oh, fine. Doing just great and enjoying the views of your studio here.
Thank you. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey that led you to become the executive director of the International Business Council and also the board member of O Bank? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a funny journey back in the university years. When I was doing my thesis, senior thesis, I was late to submit the thesis topic.
All right.
Well, one of the last ones to submit it.
Okay.
And then, the other students already picked their supervisors, and I got left with the one that was specialized in natural resources.
Natural resources.
And
okay.
Back in the days, I didn't even think about it. So I did my thesis in natural resources, law. I'm a lawyer, by the way. And it led me to IBC because IBC then was quite focused on, mining companies, gold mining and other extractive industries.
Okay.
And my thesis supervisor recommended me to IBC.
Oh.
Of course, I passed all the tests, so I got there as a lawyer and then became chief legal officer and then went to do my master's to the UK, and then got back and became a deputy executive director. Within 2 years, I grew to become an executive director. So here I am, already 9.5 years running this association. Quite a long time.
All right. So meaning it was well established before you joined IBC. How many years is the IBC actually?
So this year we're going to be celebrating 25th anniversary. So it was founded back in 2000 by foreign, namely European investors operating here in Kyrgyzstan. And then it grew up to be the largest international business association. Now we unite more than 140 companies, representing more than 20 sectors of our economy. And together they contribute more than 20% of the national budget revenues. So the government tries to listen to what we have to say, and we try to take it quite responsibly and deliver what the businesses need most, and keep delivering this voice of business to the government, to the internationals, to the diplomatic missions, to you guys, to the media, and we're more than happy to do that. And this is what keeps us, busy and what keeps us excited, because you never know which issues you are working on tomorrow.
Correct.
Today you're protecting pharmaceuticals, tomorrow banking industry, the day after tomorrow mining industry, and you have to get to know how each industry operates, what are its issues like, and so on and so forth. And by growing in those industries, I also realized that I can also be an independent director. And when I got invited to the O Bank, back in the days it was Halik Bank, I accepted this offer with pleasure because this is a new experience. being the youngest independent director, I think, across the banking sector overall in our country.
Okay.
It was an honor and a responsibility. So I took it seriously, got, additional courses and still improving my knowledge of the banking sector, of corporate governance, of audit,
Yeah.
of compliance.
You're also the chairman of the audit committee.
Yeah.
So,
And I also recently became deputy chairman of the board at the National Investment Fund, and also leading the audit committee there, the National Investment Fund. Audit is quite an important and exciting task to do, because back in the days I thought it's just about looking at the papers and accounts, and it's purely financial reporting. But it turned out it concerns everything. How every single business procedure is done, whether it's right or wrong, and whether there are, enough people to do that, whether the money is spent wisely or not, whether the functions are properly distributed. So all these kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying learning more and more about how to make those business procedures as effective and as cost effective as possible.
Amazing. All right. So, I was thinking about the IBC, International Business Council. How diverse is it with foreign companies, or is it mainly local Kyrgyz companies involved in the IBC?
It's something like 50-50. We've got locals, we've got the foreign companies representing EU countries, UK, US, our neighbors, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Russia, China. So Turkey, of course, all our main trade partners are represented in business sector. And this gives us this, bigger picture overview. We try to keep every single trade relation with Kyrgyzstan up, to make our contribution to develop our trade relations with other countries, especially with the main partners.
Okay.
And this international outlook gives us a balanced approach, because every single country that I named has its own approach, has different traditions, mentality.
Different business cultures.
Business culture, exactly. And I hope, by the way, that we'll have Malaysian companies here working and members of our association. Because up to date, we don't have them, but I'm a big fan of Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been to Malaysia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Been there a couple of years ago, and I was truly impressed, I have to say, because I wasn't expecting that much, because we don't know much about Malaysia to start with. Although I did study, I love studying the stories of nations that got developed rapidly, and Malaysia is one of those nations. One of the role models that we can follow, by the way, because we have so much in common, about religion, about culture. I think we have similar cultures,
We do.
mentalities.
Yeah.
And I was, the one thing that struck my mind was that Malaysia could include the developed nations' culture, and all those skyscrapers and infrastructure and banking services and everything, and combine it with the developing nations' youth and young vibe, this enthusiasm and young population, because all the developed nations are now struggling with demographic growth, right? With aging population. Whilst in Malaysia, you've got all this combined, development and plus young population, youth everywhere, children, youngsters, teenagers everywhere. And the other thing that I loved is that everybody seems happy. Was it just my impression, or is it true? But I think you're...
Generally, I don't know, we smile everywhere we go.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's probably just a culture that we own, yeah. it's quite different in some other countries. Like the culture is that if you don't know that person, you wouldn't smile. So it was a learning curve for me as well, because we smile everywhere. But in some other countries, when I travel, I also like traveling just like you. I've been in around like 20 plus countries, and yeah, from there I learned that to do business, you have to understand the people first. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, business without people is basically nothing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And having graduated from both the American University of Central Asia and also Cambridge University, what inspired you to focus on international business and also economic development?
Well, my work at IBC, because I've been working even before going to do my master's in the UK. I saw all these issues that businesses face. I saw how people struggle to make up their living. I also have a sort of rich ancestry of public servants. Because both my grandfathers, they were working for the government. They used to be ministers, and I had this upbringing of you need to do something for your people.
Okay.
It might sound a bit loud, but still I had this in mind. And then when I studied English law at Cambridge, and then a bit of European Union law here at the UCA. Of course, this also inspired me to work more with businesses. And I thought, well, if we do develop business environment, if we do support businesses, then we can grow our economy. And at the end of the day, people living in this economy. So at the end of the day, this was all about contributing in a way to the society, bringing back to the society. And as I worked with dozens and hundreds of companies, I realized that, yeah, they do have expertise. And when you said international businesses, those multinationals that come here to Kyrgyzstan, of course, they do have even more expertise.
Okay.
When we worked with the big four consultancy firms, when we worked with the leaders in fast-moving consumer goods industry, they all have an incredible amount of expertise across the world, and this is what I enjoy learning and applying on practice. You learn so much from them. You talk to, and this job at IBC also gives us an opportunity not only talk to them as business leaders, but also to talk with public officials, with media leaders like yourself, with civil society, with the diplomats, and I just enjoy learning all the way. As they call it, lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning, yeah. So in this perspective, how important do you think the English language is? I know the Central Asian region is predominantly using either their own mother tongue or the Russian language. To go global, how important do you think the English language is?
Oh, it's of utmost importance. And I think, by the way, your neighbor Singapore is a great example of how English has helped the nation to literally stand up from knees, right, from knees, and become one of the world's richest nations. The first thing that Lee Kuan Yew did was he introduced English everywhere, right? Everywhere at schools, in the kindergartens, at work, in business culture, in the government, and everywhere. And I think this is what Malaysia did as well, because I enjoyed reading Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's book about new economic policy, and a part of this new economic policy in Malaysia was exactly introducing English everywhere. By the way, this is also proven by the international researches being done. If you look at the map where English language proficiency is more developed, then it pretty much correlates with the level of economic development of every single nation. So in my work, I also try to do everything possible to help younger generations to learn English.
Yeah. That's really good. Yep. And how has your perspective on business in Kyrgyzstan itself has changed over the years? How has it developed over the years in your perspective?
Well, we have a dynamic country. Throughout these 30 years of independence, our paths were not exactly the same as they were with our neighbors. For instance, Kazakhstan has its oil and gas reserves, quite rich with it. Uzbekistan has got rich agriculture traditions.
Okay.
China is a giant. So being squeezed among these nations, of course, it was a challenge for our country. We are the smallest in Central Asia in terms of population. We're just 7.5 million people living here, and we are 90% mountainous country. So we don't have that many valleys to grow crops and to live in. And we're a nomadic civilization that was not used to capitalism, right? That got pretty much from feudalism to directly to socialism and then to capitalism. So our path was a bit different from other nations across the world. But this has taught us to become entrepreneurial, become agile. I think this is a part of nomadic culture, to be agile.
Yeah. You're always moving. Eh?
Exactly. Yeah, you need to adapt to any circumstances quickly. So whenever our people go abroad, they learn the local language quite easily. I think by the way, I met some of our fellow Kyrgyz people living in Malaysia speaking perfect Malaysian.
Wow.
Of course, I cannot evaluate language their proficiency, but they sound perfectly. My brother is a fluent Arabic speaker, and when he speaks to in Gulf countries or across the world, they're amazed and they take him as a local.
Okay.
Language,
they understand
right?
him perfectly. Yeah?
Yeah. He even uses those, idioms and other phrases that the foreigners don't use. So our business environment was largely derived from those conditions, and it has been growing from trade in 90s when so many people, like my mother, for instance, had lost their jobs and needed to shift rapidly to trade. So they would bring some goods from China, from the Emirates, and resell it here or to other neighboring countries. Because in the Soviet Union, we had a constant deficit of all types of goods, right? And then the market just got suddenly flooded by all those, electronics and consumer goods, huge variety of them. And now our business environment is developing, in apparel sector, garments, agriculture processing, in hospitality. Services, in fact, make up now more than half of the national GDP.
Okay.
Banking sector is rapidly developed. We've got 21 banks for 7.5 million population. Yeah. So there's quite an intense competition. And thankfully, we haven't had a single bank bankruptcy within the last 20 years, which is quite a success, I think. And it's still a long way to go. We still need to, increase our labor productivity. We still need to do infrastructure projects, energy generation projects, and but the start is done. I think we've got a good start and a young population to do that. By the way, another similarity between Malaysia and Kyrgyzstan.
How I see it, since you mentioned Kyrgyzstan, it's 7+ million people. It's the smallest country in Central Asia. It's so similar to Singapore So there is so much to learn from Singapore, where they are being a trading country. It's a point of trade where two countries can enter a market. So that's where I see Kyrgyzstan as a gateway to the rest of the world, a gateway to Central Asia, to the rest of the world. So, what? No. Who influenced you the most? Like, it doesn't have to be your family or anything. Just like a public figure. Who influenced you in your career the most?
It's difficult to name a single name.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think there are quite a few of them.
All right.
Like you mentioned, like Lee Kuan Yew, like Mahatma Gandhi,
Okay.
like Mahathir Mohamad, like business leaders across the world, Steve Jobs,
Okay.
Bill Gates,
Okay.
Einstein, for instance.
Okay.
Yeah, because my interests vary. For instance, now I like studying fundamental physics and enjoy, learning more about how our universe got created and how things work in our environment. So a wide variety of figures. Of course, Manas, our national hero, because there is so much wisdom in the Manas epic if you read it. So many figures or for instance, Dubai leader.
Yeah.
Because I'm always impressed by Dubai's success. Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
Okay. Quite a broad range of influences, yeah. So I think that's basically what makes a high quality person, is that when you take the best out of every role model that you have, and that will develop yourself in a greater perspective, right? And what do you enjoy most about your role in IBC, at the bank? What do you enjoy about it?
Meeting people. Yeah, like yourself, for instance. Because I enjoy talking to people. I cannot sit, in an office for a long time.
Okay.
Just sitting and typing things and working on a computer.
Same here.
Same here, right? Yeah, because when you talk to people, you learn something that cannot be learned from books or from other materials. Some things are not written, right? And then you get to own not only your knowledge but also skills. I enjoy improving my skills, speaking languages, of negotiating, of selling things, sales skills, of convincing somebody, of debating. I enjoyed participating in a debate club at the uni back in the days. So meeting people is a great, I think, asset and opportunity. And I'm thankful to God that I have this opportunity every day to speak with the top people in every industry, in banking sector, in mining, in trade, with ministers, with the prime ministers, with the heads of states, with ambassadors. It's just, an incredible environment to live in.
Yep. So, Ascar, I know you travel a lot for work. But let me ask you honestly, do you love traveling because of the airplanes, the hotels, and the business meetings? Or is it just really the food? What do you enjoy the most from traveling?
It's everything. A bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy, as you said, traveling in airplanes. I enjoy studying airplanes because the moment I sit in a new airplane, I take out this, paper instruction and read about this airplane. And and then I enjoy, of course, meeting new people again in the new cultures. I enjoy architecture, for instance, modern architecture, especially with those glass and metals. By the way, at KL, I enjoyed walking and looking at those skyscrapers that you've got, and Petronas Towers. It's beautiful. I enjoy food, as you said, new food, new experiences. Like, for instance, I remember I tried those frogs and in Paris.
Okay.
It wasn't the best experience, but
All right,
I
all right.
enjoyed trying it. And
Yeah.
you knew something
New
new.
experience, yeah.
Yeah, or those snails,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm, mm.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan of them, but
Okay.
I enjoy trying it.
Yeah, true.
And then, of course, it's about learning. One of the best things that I enjoy there in my travel is to learn how nations develop.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to apply it in my home country. To look at the experience of those who already tried many things, and then think about applying it here.
When you go abroad, when you travel, how do you inspect all of this? Just by looking, or do you meet people, or do you go to books and things like that? How do you personally do it?
Well, in most of my travels, I'm privileged to meet with the business and government leaders in those countries, because if you go like a usual tourist, you normally don't have this opportunity.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But usually when I go with official visits, I get to I get opportunities to meet those leaders. Otherwise, of course, I do some reading and some homework before flying to this country. If I don't, then I at least read something in the airplane already.
Okay.
And then, of course, I talk to ordinary people in the shops, in the restaurants, and then do my own observations. I think one needs to be as observant as possible, right? Observing things is an art and a useful skill, because if you are carried out by other thoughts and don't observe things around you, then you don't learn as much and experience as much. So I try to be as observant as possible.
Yeah, being present. Yeah,
being present at the moment.
At the moment. Yeah. All right.
What
And
psychologists say.
Yeah, the psychologist. Yeah, true. Being present. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you play any sports like golf? Probably.
I do swimming.
Oh, really?
Well,
Wow, okay.
I used to do some golf, a bit of golf, because our association also does those golf tournaments for business leaders.
Okay.
But we usually are busy with our organizational stuff and don't play golf as much.
Okay.
But I enjoy swimming. I enjoy a bit of athletics in the gym. I used to enjoy football, but then I had a bit of injury, and then don't play that much football now. I enjoy tennis, playing tennis. Back, I used to play tennis in my elementary school.
All right.
Don't play it now, but really want to get back to it.
All right. Maybe we should play tennis together sometime.
Yeah, maybe. I would love to.
Yeah. All right. All right. For our listeners, could you explain the role of the International Business Council in a little bit more detail? Like, what is the IBC's role?
So we're a sort of bridge between the business and the government, between the business and international organizations, diplomatic missions, media. We call ourselves a voice of business, meaning that we're something like a chamber of commerce, but an independent one that promotes those laws and regulations and those things that will help businesses grow on a large scale. We sometimes compare it with a trade union.
Okay.
For instance, there are trade unions for employees, and I usually keep saying, hey, employers also need some support.
Yeah.
And this is what we do for employers.
Okay. Trade union
companies.
for businesses.
For businesses, because there are all sorts of things, especially in developing nations like ours, that businesses cannot do on their own, right? If a bank goes and just lobbies its own interest or sectoral interests, few people are going to listen. But if banks join in a powerful association, along with telecom operators, along with mining companies, with industrial leaders, then the government will listen to them.
Correct.
Because this is an independent non-profit. By the way, we're a non-profit. So we keep our mission to develop the country's economy. This is our primary mission. this is not necessarily to grow businesses' profits, but it's about the broader economic development. And this is, I think, a noble thing to do. To do something for the society.
Yeah. And how does IBC support foreign investors in Kyrgyzstan? For example, they are interested to invest in Kyrgyzstan because Kyrgyzstan is getting more popular this past 2-3 years because of social media, because of influencers and things like that. They're coming to Central Asia and they talk a lot about this country for its beauty and things like that. How does IBC support foreign investors here in this country?
Well, first of all, we get to listen to what they need. For instance, if they need to cut down some laws and regulations that are excessive or burdensome for businesses, then we listen to them and then we analyze it. We compare it with the stances and positions of the governmental bodies, state agencies.
Okay.
And if we are convinced that this is the right thing to do, for instance, decrease sales tax or VAT or remove excessive regulations, bureaucracy, then we go and speak out on behalf of businesses in the parliament, in the governmental office, in the Ministry of Economy, in the tax service. And we managed to get quite a lot of things accepted and approved by the government. And of course, the businesses are thankful for that. It's not always, 100% win, of course. But it's a quite exciting job to do.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Because you need to get immersed into what that particular businesses say, and then analyze it, filter it through your own body of knowledge, filter it and compare it with the positions of the public, wider public, of the government, of other nations, with international experience, and then to decide what's the best thing to do, and then convince somebody more powerful than you to do that. Of course, this is always exciting.
All right. What kind of success stories has IBC been part of recently? Like you said, you guys are helping businesses, and any success stories that you would like to share recently?
Of course. For instance, we had quite burdensome regulations requiring companies to fill out so-called electronic, papers for transport and logistics. When you're moving goods from one warehouse to another, when you're selling it to retail or wholesale. And this was a huge paperwork and huge burden for accountants. And we managed to convince the government that we need to get rid of it. And early this year, it was abolished, this system. Just recently, we've managed to get at least 9 of businesses' proposals accepted into the draft amendments to the tax code. Just this summer, we've managed to get our law for food and beverages industry adopted and signed by the president.
Okay.
We've managed to include a new article into the criminal code that is now providing for criminal liability for infringing and violating the rights of entrepreneurs. So there's a special article.
Wow. Okay.
Criminal code.
Violating the rights of entrepreneurs, like
for instance, if you are unlawfully not issuing a license or permit for a business, or if you are demanding unlawful bribes from entrepreneurs, or if you are taking out their property unlawfully.
All right.
So things like that
it's now in place, yeah?
They're now in place, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We're constantly working to make sure that businesses are protected, that nobody takes unlawfully somebody's property, that the foreign direct investments are secure, and that we have a safer and more stable and more predictable business environment here in Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, this is what actually foreign investors would like to hear and would like to experience by themselves. Yeah. Talking about these industries, what industries are currently attracting the most attention from international partners?
Now, traditionally, it used to be agriculture, tourism, apparels, garments and apparel industry, textile. Used to be banking sector, telecoms, services. But now it's increasingly critical minerals, for instance, mining industry.
Okay.
And yeah, mining industry has been a huge topic for all these 30 years of independence. But now it's gaining even more momentum as the gold prices grow, as there is a huge competition globally for rare earth metals, for lithium, cobalt, nickel, and other things critical for renewables, for EVs, and there is a long list of demands for critical minerals. And of course, there is a huge interest towards logistics sector, trade, because we are in the middle of crossroads.
It's a landlocked country.
It's a landlocked country, but we are strategically located in the middle of China, Russia, Europe, and we can be a transport hub for moving goods from Asia to Europe, from South Asia to North Asia. We can do it both in terms of air freight and also in terms of railroads, in terms of automobile roads. And in fact, it has been included as one of the top priorities in the national development strategy now. And of course, we're going to be contributing to it.
Okay. All right. Now, let's look at it from the economic point of view. Kyrgyzstan's GDP was estimated around $17.5 billion last year, 2024, with a growth rate of 11.7% in the first 4 months this year. Now, the service sector remains the largest contributor, like you said, which is around 51.1% of the total GDP, while commodity production contributes 32.8%. How would you describe the current economic climate of Kyrgyzstan?
We're experiencing a stable and quite impressive economic growth lately throughout the past 4 years. It's about 9% on average every year. And there is even more growing interest towards Central Asia that we're now experiencing from all across the world, from the US, from the EU, UK, from ASEAN countries, from Turkey, South Asia, Russia. And this brings more investment into our region. Now there are more platforms of cooperation with not only every single nation in Central Asia separately, but more importantly, in terms of Central Asia as a region. And that's why we have those C5+1 formats of cooperation, Central Asia plus Japan, Central Asia plus EU, plus US, and so on and so forth. So there is a momentum, but of course we need to build up on that. We need to create favorable conditions for doing business. And that's what we're working on constantly.
Okay. And my next question is, what makes Kyrgyzstan unique compared to other Central Asian countries?
Well, it's landscape. We're 90% mountainous nation, as opposed to Kazakhstan with its vast steppes and valleys. We've got some of the unique pieces of nature for tourism. We've got a dynamic population. As I mentioned, our population is more entrepreneurial. I would suggest, and maybe even more entrepreneurial than our neighbors.
Okay.
In some respects.
Okay.
Hospitable. This is inherent in our nomadic culture to be hospitable. And of course, we've got some natural wealth, such as natural resources, huge hydropower potential,
Okay.
Renewable energy potential overall. Those minerals that
Okay.
could drag us rapidly from those low level of developments.
From all these sectors, which one do you see is the most promising for future economic growth?
I would say services.
Services, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is already more than 50%
Yeah,
currently.
yeah.
Okay.
I would count on medical services. Then we are also experiencing, which we see being developed rapidly.
Okay.
If you look around our capital, I'm sure you've noticed all those huge numbers of private medical institutions that we have. And, people from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan come to see their dentists here, come to do plastic surgery,
Right.
to do cardiovascular surgery.
Like medical tourism, eh?
Medical tourism, tourism as such, IT services for sure, banking, financial services.
Okay.
We can be some sort of, service provider of legal services, audit, financial services for those companies that do not necessarily work here, but need to work for the whole Central Asian region. They can be based here. They can pay lower taxes here and work for the whole Eurasian Economic Union area, for the Central Asia. And this is a far bigger market, of course, than our 7.5 million market. Educational services. Now, every third student in Kyrgyzstan is now a foreigner, just imagine, in higher educational institutions.
Okay,
Yeah, we've got students from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, from Uzbekistan, and they're enjoying receiving the local education, especially medical education.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah, creative industries. So I think we have a great potential in terms of services, and this is completely consistent with our nomadic mentality. Because I don't think we are great in manufacturing, in producing goods, but we are better in providing services.
Yeah. Which is interesting. When you look at the UAE,
Right.
Just 30 years ago, I tell this all the time to my friends, just 30 years ago, they were a fishing village. And then they got black gold, and then they sold it. They built the tallest building in the world, attract tourists from this. They tell the tourists that if you do business here, there are tax incentives, which right now, if you register your business in the Business Bay Area, it will be 0%. So I think Kyrgyzstan is on the right track, attracting tourists to come and then tell them, of the tax incentives and everything like that. Because the business communities are coming as tourists, just to experience the beautiful nature here in Kyrgyzstan. And then they will see the potential and on how they can invest in this country. And on another note, how is Kyrgyzstan preparing for a digital transformation and also innovation?
Yeah, that's another great topic. Our government has made a huge progress in digitalizing public services. Now we don't necessarily go to governmental offices to get the public services. Now it's mostly done online. Now the government doesn't send letters, paper letters. Now it's mostly online. There's been a great leap in terms of financial services. Now, if you've noticed around Bishkek, few people pay cash. It's mostly now done digitally.
QR and all.
QR. Yeah. National Bank has introduced this great move in terms of excluding all sorts of commissions and tariffs from QR payments.
Okay.
So no matter which bank you are using, you don't pay commission when you pay via QR.
Okay.
Yeah. So digitalization is moving. We have this high technology park, which is quite successful in providing a low tax regime for IT services, which are oriented for export. And those service providers, those IT companies, are quite successful in bringing even more digital services into our country. So yeah, it's quite a thing.
All right. As we all know, I'm originally from Malaysia and generally representing the Southeast Asian region. How do you view Kyrgyzstan's economic ties with Malaysia and also the Southeast Asian market?
Well, I think we've got a great potential when the Malaysian Prime Minister, Dr. Anwar Ibrahim, visited our country. There was a historical visit because I don't think we've ever received Malaysian or Southeast Asian nations leaders in our country.
Okay.
Because we mostly cooperate, with Europe, with Eurasia, with Central Asia, with East Asia even, but not with Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Right. And now this change is coming. Now we have quite a few Vietnamese companies in our market building huge construction projects, resorts, housing facilities, even casinos, I think. There is an interest from Malaysian companies in terms of Islamic banking, in terms of halal industry in agriculture, in terms of digital services, electronics, manufacturing, tourism, of course, and IT services. Plus we have exchange I think quite a lot of people go and increasingly study more in Singapore. One of our friends graduated from Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy.
Okay.
I think we're having more connections with Indonesia in terms of tourism, because there are, our people, across CIS region are huge fans of Bali resorts.
Yeah.
All those yogas and meditations and
the beaches.
The beaches, of course. Yeah. It's beautiful and amazing to visit. We've got the same tourism potential and exchange of tourists with Thailand, of course. Huge waves of our tourists go to Thailand. There are direct flights from Almaty, which is just 3 hours away from Bishkek. There used to be a direct flight to Vietnam.
Okay, from Bishkek. Okay.
Yeah. And I hope there's gonna be a direct flight to KL as well, Kuala Lumpur, because it's Kuala Lumpur is a great hub to continue your travel onwards to Singapore. For instance, when I went to Singapore, I did it via Kuala Lumpur, and I tried both of the airports.
Okay.
And then, of course, there is a potential to work with all ASEAN nations, but we need to connect more with each other.
Yeah, this is what I discussed with the ambassador of the Kyrgyz Republic in Malaysia in the last episode. We need to increase the travel between two countries. And when there are more businesses going on between our two countries, I'm sure travel will also increase, because I would really love to see one day we have a direct flight from Bishkek to Kuala Lumpur, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we also discussed that Kyrgyzstan being the gateway for Southeast Asian countries to enter the Central Asian market. In your opinion, what role can Kyrgyzstan and IBC play to make Kyrgyzstan the gateway for Southeast Asian investors to enter the Central Asian market?
Right. Well, first of all, we can do more business visits to ASEAN countries, especially to Malaysia. And I think there is a growing interest from our business community to go there, and we need to receive more business delegations from ASEAN countries to Kyrgyzstan as well, and Central Asia as a whole. Because it all starts with human connections, right?
Yeah.
You came here, you liked our city. By the way, that was a great point you made, that first of all, people need to like the place, to live in, and then they can start doing business here. If they don't like living here, then there's a tiny chance that they'll do business. Because, for instance, when I went to Geneva at one of the work trips, I started asking those multinationals, for instance, JTI, Japan Tobacco International, their headquarters, interestingly, is not in Japan, but in Geneva.
Okay.
Yeah, Philip Morris International, an American giant, their headquarters is in Lausanne, just next to Geneva. And I started asking them, hey, how do you manage? How does Switzerland manage to attract all those huge HQs of the biggest companies to Switzerland? A landlocked country, by the way.
Yeah, it's the same as Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, same as Kyrgyzstan. I think Switzerland is a great role model for us. And so one of the answers was that we provide great services for expats to live in. Nature, hospitals, education, you name it, and connections to the rest of the world. You can fly from Geneva to almost every developed nation, and this incentivizes people and companies to do business there. When you're comfortable, when you feel comfortable to live here, then starts the other things. So we need to build more connections between our businesses, build more trust, sell some things. It all starts with tiny things. If we sell some walnuts and honey to Malaysia, for instance, and then buy some electronics from Malaysia, there is a bilateral trade, and then we can go for investment projects. We cannot just start an investment project from scratch, right? I usually explain our officials that, hey, nobody's gonna come with a pile of money and invest right away, right?
Correct. Yeah,
we need to do some basic trade, build some basic trust, and then we'll have huge projects.
Sure.
And I hope we'll have not $9 million turnover with Malaysia, but $1 billion. Right? I think we've got a potential for that.
And for potential investors, what are the key advantages of doing business and investing in Kyrgyzstan, in your opinion?
Low taxes for sure.
Okay.
Because we have, I think, the lowest tax rates in the region. 10% corporate profit tax, 12% VAT, lots of, tax breaks and tax exemptions. 10% personal income tax, which is also low. Low electricity costs. Yeah, we have, I think, we're in top 5 nations across the world in terms of electricity costs.
I was surprised, I stay here at my apartment. It was like probably 1/3 of my electricity bill in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah, so what you're saying is exactly true. And what challenges should foreign investors be aware of?
Well, of course, they need to study the laws and regulations better. They need to plan their investments thoroughly. And I think one of the great ways to do that is to find a proper local partner here.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to do business when you are a foreigner and you're completely on your own here. When you have a strong local partner that knows the environment, that knows people, that knows the laws and regulations, then of course it's far easier. It was my observation for a long time, for many years, that those foreign investors that chose to pick a strong local partner, they succeeded much more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they know local language even better, if they have a diversified portfolio, even better.
Mm-hmm.
If they are focused on the whole region, again, even better, because they'll have far more profits from the region rather than working in one country. So briefly saying, that's I would give those recommendations.
Okay. Please enjoy the cake. It's there. Yeah, I'm gonna have a bite.
Will do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
think that's the first podcast that offered a cake.
Really?
My experience, yeah.
You know, podcasts in Southeast Asia, they even do like a full meal, like lunches.
Wow.
Like it's just very relaxed. It's not like an interview or anything like that. It's just like two friends talking over food, talking over a meal. So that's the how it
It's
is.
a great way to do that.
Yep.
Mhm. By the way, this is inherent in our culture as well,
Mm-hmm.
that we usually have some tea, have some food while discussing business.
Yeah. It's better
Builds
that way, don't
trust.
you think?
Yeah, it's better, far better. Your brain functions better.
Yeah.
You are more relaxed. You have more trust,
Yeah.
and you're not rushing anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer doing even business meetings over lunch, right? Because
Yeah.
you'll have lunch anyway, and it's great to combine, right? You don't lose time for additional meetings.
Correct.
Combine the two.
Yeah, you save time, you're doing business, you're enjoying, well, it's a mix of business and pleasure. Yep. All right. So we were talking about the foreign investors coming in. How easy is it to start a business here? And also to be involved in investment in the Kyrgyz Republic. Is it easy to do that here for foreigners?
Yeah, we don't have any limits in foreign ownership in local legal entities. It's to start a company, you don't have to have a local entity, a local partner. Right? Yeah. So you can start a company and register it completely on your own with 100% foreign capital. There are no limits onto that. There are no limits in terms of repatriation of capital. So if you make profits, you can easily take them out of the country. There is floating and market exchange rate of local currency. For instance, some of our neighbor countries had a fixed exchange rate, and there were challenges in exchanging the local currency to dollars or euros and then taking it out of the country. Here we don't have those challenges, fortunately. Then we've got the quite easy procedure of starting a business. You can do it within 1 day, within 3 days. You can obtain a large part of licenses and permits fairly easy as well. So yeah, starting a business is quite
fairly easy. Yeah.
fairly easy
Yeah,
here.
that was my experience here in Kyrgyzstan. I was quite amazed at the ease of all the process.
Right.
Besides the language barrier. So I just had to have a friend or a translator with me and to translate everything, all the terms and everything like that. It took me around a week, just a week, and it's done. That whole week was probably because of the language barrier. That's it, because I'm a very detailed person. I go everything word by word and everything like that. If not, it would take, like you said, probably just a day to 3 days,
Happy to hear that.
Yeah. And I'm telling this news that it's so easy to get into Kyrgyzstan for investments and business to my friends, my family, my business partners. And they're like, are you sure? Because the language barrier is there. So that's why we have you here today to approve, to tell the people, like it's that easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's just the language barrier, which, is easily tackled by a translator or, a local friend and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is Kyrgyzstan positioning itself in the renewable energy sector?
Well, we're all the government, the private sector, we're all putting a great emphasis on this. because the population is growing rapidly, and we need more power generation facilities. If we want to grow our economy, then we need more power. So the government has introduced quite a lot of tax incentives for renewables. Like, for instance, there is an exemption for the import of renewables equipment to the country. There are VAT exemptions for the renewables. There are fixed power purchase agreement clauses in the law, so that if you build a small hydropower station, then you'll have a guaranteed sales of those electricity, pieces of electricity. Then we've got quite a lot of development partners like IFC, ADB, EBRD, co-funding those projects on quite favorable terms. You can start your hydropower station, you can start your wind power station, geothermal energy station in your house, or solar power, solar panels, and you can get cheap funding for that, can get exemptions for that. So it's quite supported by everyone here, and we have a big hope for renewables.
Okay, what is the ratio like for renewable energy with what we have currently?
Well, I would say it's something like 80 to 20. Yeah, 80% renewables.
Okay. 80% renewables.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the coal is usually used in major cities, and we are mostly rural nation. 60% of our communities live in rural areas.
Okay.
So it's mostly renewables and mostly hydropower energy.
Okay.
Yeah, and still we're using just under 10% of our hydropower potential.
Okay.
Just imagine.
That's 90% more to tap into, yeah?
Yeah, because we're an upstream country. We've got tons of rivers flowing, and we don't use their potential fully. We can build hundreds of hydropower stations across all the regions of Kyrgyzstan. We are water providers to our neighbors. Crops in Uzbekistan, in part, are watered by our rivers. Crops in Kazakhstan.
All right. So where I'm from in Malaysia is called Sarawak. It's a state where we are now focusing on renewable energy. And not only we are efficient for the state itself, but we are selling all across Southeast Asia, to Singapore, to Indonesia, the energy. So I see Kyrgyzstan having that potential as well. Like you said, selling the energy to neighboring countries, which is a huge potential for investors to come in. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more similarity between our nations.
Exactly. Yeah. Renewable energy. That's a really good market to tap into. Okay. And what is the impact of Kyrgyzstan's membership in the Eurasian Economic Union? What is the impact that Kyrgyzstan is now in the union, yeah?
Well, first of all, we got an access to 170 million people market.
Okay.
Which is a huge market for us. We can sell our agricultural products there. In fact, now almost all our agricultural exports and plus garments, apparel, textile exports go to Eurasian Economic Union. Of course, another advantage we get is that we can have our oil and gas imports duty free, because otherwise we would buy them with quite substantial duties. Now we get it duty free. We get some of the basic foods that are not enough on our market from Eurasian Economic Union countries, and this gives, of course, ourselves a better food security, energy security, and a guaranteed market for the sale of our goods. Because, for instance, non-members of the Eurasian Economic Union, they are already not that competitive in their sales.
Okay.
So we get better terms for our, garments and agricultural products.
Okay.
And we get, of course, the free free flow of our workforce, because we're still quite dependent on labor migrant remittances, and most of our labor migrants work in Eurasian Economic Union countries.
Okay. Now, how important are remittances and diaspora's network for the economy?
They constitute one of the key sources of foreign currency
Okay.
for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we are trying to decrease this dependency on labor migrants' remittances, but now it's of utmost importance.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get, as I said, apart from foreign currency, we get basic income for thousands of families across Kyrgyzstan. They get to feed themselves, they get to buy houses, do their education, thanks to those labor migrant remittances. Then, of course, this is another source of technology for us. Our fellow Kyrgyz are bringing technologies from across the world. Thanks to those labor migrants, our diasporas help to advance our national interests abroad. By the way, now I think everybody across the world recognizes the importance of having, strong diasporas abroad. Like, for instance, India. India has the largest diaspora in the world, and it helps them advance their workers, advance their national interests. And now look at those top tech companies in the US. Quite a lot of them are managed by the Indians.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's important for us, and we put a great emphasis on working with our diasporas, of supporting them. Our foreign ministry is very active in supporting them. Our government is trying to negotiate better terms for our labor migrants. Now, for instance, there are more opportunities in South Korea for our labor migrants than before. In maybe even in Southeast Asia, because now I think there is an increasingly big number of our migrants in Malaysia as well, working successfully.
Yeah. And, we are both from Asia. Now, Asia is a powerhouse globally. What role does China play in Kyrgyzstan's trade and investment?
Well, of course, it's China is our number one trade partner.
Okay.
We get most of our consumer goods from China. We do our transit trade with China. We buy some Chinese products, goods and services, and then resell them to Kazakhstan, to Russia, to Uzbekistan, to other places, and get our own profits from this, transit trade. Of course, China is important in terms of FDI inflow. They are constantly in top 3 investors in Kyrgyzstan, in almost all the sectors of our economy, in agriculture and mining industry, in tourism, in construction, because the Chinese entrepreneurs and companies are quite, agile, flexible, and they're ready to face new markets, and face difficulties, challenges, and they're ready to cope with them. And the Chinese government is supportive in this regard, because China sees Kyrgyzstan as a vital partner in the BRI projects, in Belt and Road initiatives.
Okay.
And in building this middle corridor, so-called, from China to the EU countries. And we are putting a great emphasis on completing the railroad project, China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, which will make this middle corridor workable on practice. And there is also a transit gas pipeline now being constructed. China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. Joint projects in energy sector, in services, almost everywhere. But I have to say that we don't use this potential fully. There is far more potential of working with China, which we don't use, unfortunately. So I think we need to work more on that to bring more technologies that China has. China is now the world leader in technologies. We need to bring more advanced multinationals from China. We need to do more trade and provide better conditions for the FDIs.
All right. So as you can see, Malaysia and most Southeast Asian countries are neutral to any political or economical atmosphere in the world. How does Kyrgyzstan balance relations with both East and West?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think in many ways we are similar in this regard with Malaysia and with countries like Switzerland. We try to be neutral. We try to work with everyone, because when you are a small nation, you cannot afford to have bad relations with somebody, especially when you are landlocked. Thankfully, Malaysia has a vast coastline, right, and huge ports to trade with everybody across the world, and we don't have that opportunity. So we have this multi-vectoral foreign policy for all these years of independence, 30 plus years of independence, and I think it pays off, because we reap the benefits from both, Eurasian countries, from Western countries, from Eastern countries. But of course, this is a challenging task to do, especially in our today's geopolitical environment, right? In terms of sanctions regimes, complying with them, in terms of strategic interest of world powers in the region, because they sometimes overlap here, and it's not easy for countries of Central Asia to tackle, to develop in these conditions. But hopefully we'll manage that effectively. And I think this is a great model of being a neutral country, working with everyone, friends with everyone, and offering business opportunities for everyone, like Switzerland, like Sweden, and other countries across the world.
The Scandinavian countries are interesting to me, how they're doing businesses and having sovereign funds for their own countries and things like that. I would love to explore that area just to learn more. Have you been to Scandinavian countries? And how do you find it there?
Just recently, I've been to Sweden, Denmark. Last year, I've been to Iceland. And yeah, that's I think they have some of the best models to learn from. For instance, I love Norway's sovereign wealth fund and their system of managing their wealth. Because just imagine that the government has the right to use not more than 5% of its profits. Just imagine, not of its overall assets, but of the profits that they make. And therefore, they have the world's largest sovereign fund for a nation comparable with Kyrgyzstan in terms of population. And they having the largest sovereign wealth fund. This is, a huge story to learn from. And I like the way they treat, those socially unprotected groups of people, the opportunities they offer to them, and the way they tackle the income inequality gap. And when you see this social protection used for everyone, you feel safe in this country. Yeah. And I think this is a great way to provide a safe and comfortable environment for everyone in your country, for the locals, for the foreigners, and you don't feel bad that somebody is struggling to make their ends meet, struggling to find food. There is a basic food and living standards for everyone. I like the way they stimulate entrepreneurship. For instance, Sweden has this system when if you like to have a gap year, for instance, not to do anything, you can do that in Sweden.
All right.
Yeah, because you have basic, medical service, educational services
Supported by the government.
And I think this is a great tool to stimulate innovation in today's competitive world economy, because people can be free from those everyday routine, not running like as we call it, like a squirrel in the wheel,
right? Like a rat race.
A rat race, yeah. But have time to think, to create, to imagine, and to innovate at the end of the day. And that's why Sweden now boasts to have one of the largest car manufacturing companies like Volvo, right? One of the biggest consumer goods companies like H&M and IKEA. Denmark boasts to have one of the world's largest logistics fleet of tankers, right? I was surprised to learn that Maersk is a Danish company. A tiny country like Denmark, it's smaller than Kyrgyzstan and definitely smaller than Malaysia. But they have one of the world's largest fleet of tankers, right? Just of logistics of those ships that ship containers across the world. They have one of the leading, they have one of the Europe's largest biomedical company and one of Europe's most expensive companies, Novo Nordisk. So I'm truly impressed by their experience in Iceland, in those quite difficult climate conditions to live in. They've managed to provide a welfare state for everyone as well, because Iceland used to be a quite poor nation of fishermen, of having some of the world's most distant islands, right, from everyone.
Yeah, it's like the end of the world.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, but they've managed to build up on that and to become one of the world's wealthiest nations at the moment, using their, providing one of the best conditions for doing business, using their natural resources potential, using trade routes. And by the way, they have one of the most successful airlines, by the way, in Europe. I was surprised to learn that some North Americans, they use Iceland as a hub to travel to Europe.
Okay.
Which is quite wise.
Yeah. We have a lot to learn from the Scandinavian countries, yeah? They're not always on the map. I mean, they're not always on the news. They're like the silent builders of things, Yeah. That's I think that is a good way to approach the neutral stance of a country in economic development. All right. So, what is your vision for Kyrgyzstan's economy in the next 10 years? By that time, you'll be like, I don't know, in the next 10 years.
Well, as we talked earlier on this podcast, I would imagine our country to be one of the regional leaders, or maybe the world leaders in terms of services, medical services, educational services, IT, trade. One of the champions in renewables, in terms of hydropower, solar, wind power, geothermal power. And one of the most educated countries, because I think this is a key to any nation's economic development, to put a great emphasis on education.
Okay.
we can build up so much on that. We have small population, which is good and bad. And the good part of it is that you can develop quite rapidly and far quicker than than larger nations do it.
Yes.
So I see a huge potential, and I see our country becoming a developed nation within the next 10 to 20 years. I hope so, because now we have grown almost twice within the past 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
So there is a good start to build up on that further.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what advice would you give to young Kyrgyz entrepreneurs?
To learn, do this lifelong learning and apply things on practice, because you never know what kind of skills and knowledge will be applicable in your business. The more we learn from other countries, from even here, being here present at the moment, the more we can apply and the more we can innovate and make successful businesses. Because entrepreneurship is about, is about bringing something new to the market, right?
Yeah.
And being competitive there. If you don't bring something new, then most likely you're not going to be successful. So in order to bring something new, you need to have huge background. So just try new things, learn, practice, take risks, because entrepreneurship is, of course, about taking risks, and you'll be successful. I think we've got great starting position on that in terms of those agility, flexibility, adaptability skills, resilience that we already have.
Yeah.
There is a joke that when we were asked, did the world financial crisis affect you? Did the pandemic affect you? You say, hey, we're in constant crisis.
Constant crisis.
Yeah, because those 30 years of independence were quite a challenge for our country.
Yeah.
Thousands of factories shut down, thousands of companies couldn't work in the new environment. People had to adapt very quickly to the new market conditions. The government had very low sources of income, few sources of income. And but the good part is that our people have learned to cope with that, have learned to be resilient, have learned to be entrepreneurial, to take care of themselves, to open new markets. For instance, now our diaspora in Chicago, for instance, as far as I know, is the largest across Central Asian, across CIS diasporas in Chicago.
Wow.
And they're quite successful. They are opening businesses, and they're bringing more and more investment back home to Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, as they say, Ascar, pressure make diamonds. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think Kyrgyzstan is a shining diamond of Central Asia. All right,
Thank you.
And if you had to pitch Kyrgyzstan in one sentence to a foreign investor, what would you say?
A great place to live in.
Okay.
Yeah, because all the expats that I know, they love living here.
All right.
Great food, nature, low costs, everything's cheap, freedom.
It's almost like heaven. Almost heaven.
Exactly. Freedom.
Yeah.
Right. We are a democracy.
Mm.
So you can feel yourself free to speak out. You can feel yourself comparatively safe and enjoy great services.
All right.
You've got one of the world-class schools, medical institutions. so you can raise your family confidently, and if you earn well, then you live well.
Yeah.
So one of the best places to live in.
Yeah. Come to Kyrgyzstan, yeah,
Come to Kyrgyzstan,
and you'll understand, guys, what Askar is talking about.
yeah. Try to live here.
Yeah.
For a week, a month, and I'm sure you'll then want to stay here and do business.
Yeah, true. And on a personal note, you're doing so many things, with IBC, with the bank, being the chairman of the audit committee. How do you balance your professional and personal life?
Yeah, it's quite challenging, but I've learned to do that throughout all these years. And one of the ways to do that is that you just manage your time effectively. I usually, listen to podcasts, to audiobooks while driving, while going to the gym. So I'm usually combining several things at a time.
Multitasking.
Okay.
Okay.
Time management.
All right.
Lifelong learning.
Okay.
And trying new things. And because the more you try, the more you do something, the better you become at this, and then you nail it easily, right? So you just need to work more. Maybe in part because I'm still single.
Okay.
But even when I'll have a family, I'm sure I'll, manage to do those tasks, because all these years were full of so many tasks, so many new things, that if I'm not occupied with anything, then I feel, not easy. I feel
restless.
bored.
You feel bored.
Restless. Yeah. For instance, some people can lay back for weeks home, right? In my case, even if I'm sick, even if I have a flu or something,
You have to do something.
I have to do something.
Yeah.
At least listen to your podcast or to an audiobook, and I need to, get better and go out and work. Cannot lay back for a long time.
Yeah. Same with me. Yeah. So by the way, I'm also single. Just putting that out there. Yeah. So it's time management. You go to the gym for health, education. You listen to podcasts, to books. I think combined, all the elements you mentioned is very important in balancing professional life and also personal life.
Right. And even in those audiobooks and podcasts, I try to balance multiple things, multiple areas. For instance, I listen to economic podcasts, political, and then at the same time, some narratives, some novels, some popular science fiction, some physics, biology, or psychology. When you mix this all, then you have something to talk about with every single person you meet, right? And then you have higher chances to be successful with this person and to do business with that person, and to advance your objectives that you had.
All right. So any final words that you would like to say to entrepreneurs and investors that are interested to enter the market, invest in Kyrgyzstan, or to those who wants to learn more about the International Business Council?
Right. I would suggest you to come up here, spend at least several days here. Then you can go and travel across Central Asia, compare, get to know how we live. I'm sure you'll feel comfortable here, and then try to do business. Research well, hire somebody professional, a law firm, a consultancy firm, find a local partner, and start doing business. Of course, there are risks, but if you don't try, you never know. So start from small things, and then it could get bigger and bigger with comparatively higher risks that we have in developing nations, in transitional economies like here. Come higher profits, higher amounts of profits. than you would make in a developed nation. So try living and doing business here.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that's all for today's episode. Ascar, thank you so much. Thank you once again for sharing your time and your valuable insights with us today. It's been a real honor having you on the podcast. And to our listeners, if you'd like to learn more about the International Business Council, be sure to visit IBC's website at www.ibc.kg. Don't forget to follow, share, and stay tuned for more episodes where we explore the bridges between Kyrgyzstan, Malaysia, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. See you in the next episode of In the Box podcast. My name is Algo Joe, signing out. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.